Winter is coming. The topic of today, like I said, is how women deal with the ideology that they don't need a man, even though obviously inflation is up, crime is up, jobs are harder to find, life is just a financial strain on most women in today's economy, in today's world. Do you think the ideology of telling women it's okay to be independent and not need a man is a dangerous thing, or do you think that it is the wave of the future and how most women should move in order to find what they're looking for?
I definitely disagree with the ideology that a woman does not need. Um, even I think women should definitely pursue a relationship, especially because that's just not even for financial reasons, but definitely just because you need stability, and a man provides stability is ingrained in who he is in order for him to provide that for a woman in one way or another. It doesn't have to be financial. It is something that a man has inside of him, and a woman does definitely need that. Me personally, I feel like I would do better with a man. So that's just my philosophy. I'm not sure about women, but it's very dangerous economically. It's dangerous for for every aspect of a woman's life. It is horrible for you to feel like you just don't need a man. Now, unless that's your preference, but definitely I would say relationships are better. So
Because to me, I think a lot of women get it confused when they say, "Well, I'm independent, so I don't need a man." I've never understood the two. I never understood how one negates the other. Like, how can like it's impossible for women to be independent and be with a man at the same time? Because again, I speak to our community because most women of
yeah,
ethnicity, Asian, Hispanic, Puerto Rican, South American, Caucasian,
yeah,
they have their flux of independent women, yet they're married to successful men and still are able to have amazing, happy, positive, and forthgoing marriages.
absolutely. I think it's a disconnect between the the phrase being independent and being okay with struggle. Okay. So a woman in like especially in our community, struggle mode is praised. Okay. And what we do most of the times is throw glory on making it. And that's just a way to kind of disconnect. And I'm not saying it's any sort of sinister thing to go along with that. I'm not entirely sure how we even got there. My only thing is that that women have to realize the positivity, and not only that, how much you gain, more so financially. Like I said, I want to press that, but of course, financially, it is easier for you to be and have a partner. It's always easier. So if you share this with a just a partnership, it's easier to get things accomplished if you have a partner. But you saying that I'm an independent woman means that what man would want you if your mind frame is there. And that's how I feel. Even and I don't know what you mean. Like if you can explain to me what you mean by and other women of other ethnicities, they also are independent but still have
Well,
relationships. Do you mean like they are able to take care of themselves?
when I say independent, I mean like for instance, in the black community, and I always cite my sources, US Census.gov, uh,
Yeah.
23% of black women have or are currently married, whereas the second lowest number is Caucasian women at like 56%. So it's like, yeah, almost 6 out of every 10 person in the Caucasian community are either white, I mean, are either married or have been married. Where in the Asian, it's like
Right.
80, 90%, it goes higher. So what I'm saying is there are women, why do you think it is where women of every other ethnicity are able to be married at a rate of 50% or higher and still be independent? When I say independent, I mean you're able to take care of yourself. Because as I've said
Right.
several times on this show, if you're 21 and older, whether you're man, woman, trans, or however you classify yourself, if your age is 21 and older, it is mandatory that you be able to provide for yourself not in a relationship strain, but as a societal norm.
Right.
Unless you were
Right.
born independently rich or wealthy, is it considered the norm that someone reach the age of 21 and then say, you know what, I'm going to wait for somebody else to do it?
Oh, well, of course not. And that's not morally okay either, to just wait on someone to do something for you. But I definitely understand what you're saying about that. I think I think honestly, economically, it's better for our economy for black women to say that we are going to be independent. So that's why it's stressed. And it is a good thing for our economy in America, and specifically here, to push the black woman because we work very hard, okay? And we will go the distance and take, what we have to take and do what we have to do in order to make things happen for everyone around us, family, everyone like that. We work just as hard or harder because that's what we do. Now, I'm not saying black men don't work hard. They do, except we don't work. We are just now getting to the point where we'll work smarter and not harder. But it used to be that we worked hard and then just took what someone's giving us. So economically, that's something that was ingrained, and I don't think it's right at all. But I definitely do think that has a big wedge as to why black women in this country probably feel like independent because you're taught that. You're taught that. And then to disregard a man, that's going to divide that hard work for our economy is kind of weird, for them to just stress it. Okay, well, but you go ahead and divide this and then build on that and take all that hard work and then go into that community and do that, instead of pouring it into another one. And I'm not saying that's all. I have very limited personal experience with that. So I can't really say if I'm right, but from kind of my study and what I've seen and the people that I do know, that's kind of that's a small part. Is it right? No. Is it something we need to change? Absolutely. So we won't keep on perpetuating the fact that um, that we need to be by ourselves and don't get married. So we get rewarded for not being married. Black women get rewarded for not being married.
And would you say, would you say that, I know this may be an obvious question, but would you explain why, especially women in our community, are better off in relationships than struggling to live the single independent life? Like from your perspective?
Absolutely. Absolutely. A man is going to cover you in ways you never imagine. Okay. And like I said, me personally, I just feel like it creates a strong foundation for generations. So you're setting the precedence for everyone else that comes under you, and then people on the outside also can see a representation. And I know representation is supposed to be big and it's a cliche word, but when I say representation, I say you need to go in there and get the covering of a man and then the security from a man. Security does not mean monetary. Security does not always mean that you have to have someone that's going to do everything for you when you can't do it. Security means I have someone that can back me up as a black woman. And they give us say, okay, you're so strong, and they make us feel like we don't, and then we have all this mental problems, all these, all these issues that we go through, all this self hatred. You know what I'm saying? All these things happen because we won't go and say, okay, well, I need a husband, and that's okay for me to say. That takes away from us. It's okay for us to have a husband. It's okay. We should have a husband, and we should not be independent. That's not something that should happen, and that's okay. That is the message that all black women should strive for, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, because I always say, to me, that's the ideology at the end of the day, that you
Hmm.
can be independent. Because when, again, like I said to you earlier, you have a lot of these women, Beyonce, Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, Rihanna, all these
Yeah.
women are pushing this agenda of, girl, you don't need a man and they cheat on you. You better leave and
Mhm.
be independent. But
Mhm.
ironically, all these women I named are either married or have been
Yes.
in long term relationships or currently in long
Yes.
term relationships with men who
Right.
they love, value, and appreciate. So, I